Welcome back, Dr. Ray, to Ingredients for a Better Life. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you this Monday.
Hello, Chef Jay. Great to be back. Good to see you again, my friend.
Great. Today, we'll continue our discussion we were having last week about the first law of thermodynamics. And, we're going to go into, how the ingredients in your program in the capsule, how they change the shape of DHT into other molecules based on the individual biochemical report card. I was interested as to what exactly is happening inside with this capsule. And then it gets complicated because you have, testosterone, free testosterone, and then what's in the bloodstream, what's feeding it. And that's where it gets messy. And that's where you come in. So I kind of want you to explain how all that ties together and how you can reshape or change those enzymes that 80% of men in the world have one of them, 20% of men in the world have both.
Well, you did a very good job, Chef Jay, of explaining the problem that we run into, which is understanding how molecules work, how the cells function on a molecular level when the closest we can get is the atom. We've never seen the electron nor the chemical bond. So I'm going to share a slide with you just so you can peek at the types of things that we look at. But at the end of the day, we start with a mathematical equation. And the mathematics have to, 2 plus 2 is going to equal 4, and
Right.
2 minus 1 is going to equal 1. So once we get the math right, we then, in our mind, theorize what the molecules should look like. That was 30 years ago. Today, with X-rays, we can verify what the molecules look like. So this slide that I'll show you, and look at all of these different shapes of all of these molecules, Jay, and this is basically showing you the steps from taking the HDL, good cholesterol, from the food that you consume, and how enzymes use that one molecule and turn it into quite a few different molecules, and those are the hormones in the body. So
Right.
our science, basic science taught us that things should move this way: organic chemistry, biochemistry, and then mathematics would help us add up all the pluses and minuses. And then we would figure out, as you mentioned, how the change of those shapes will alter the cells. And here you'll see sort of the research that goes into the cell wall, and you'll see how the DHT molecule will turn on and off different receptors at the level of the cell wall. And that's what triggered our research into the testosterone creams that were being given to men and women that were turning into dihydrotestosterone and causing quite a bit more hair loss. So more of, and I'll show you one more slide since I appreciate your time. And since you're the chef aspect, you'll see here's the chemistry of bread making, right? And as you understand, there's a lot that goes on once you put the bread in the oven. But here's it teaches us how the protein uses the water and the starch, the enzymes turn it into glucose, yeast will cause ethanol, carbon dioxide. So there's a lot that goes on at the molecular level. And what we've done over time, we've researched different molecules in different types of ingredients for different formulas. And then we applied it to the body over time. That took years. And then we deduced which formulas worked the best. But could I today tell you how each ingredient goes in the body and makes it work? I'll tell you this. I had one gentleman that came into the office, Jay, and I said, do you understand how magnets work? And he said, yes, I do. I said, wow, write a book. Nobody on earth knows how a magnet works. That's a force at a distance. Explain that to me. So no, we don't know. We don't know precisely how the formula works. We just simply researched all the different types of molecules and all the different variations that we could think of, and then we deduced which ones work their best, and that became trademarked as the Nettle Essentials. So the types of ingredients that go in there, quercetin was precipitated and processed and purified from the onion, for example. Essential amino acids such as lysine and methionine also were found in a certain ratio to stabilize the hair follicle as it grew over time. And then we put in there the ascorbic acid as a preservative to keep the pH. We found out that the pH mattered, the
Right.
pH around the hair follicle. So all of that goes into the Nettle Essentials. That's inside every capsule. And then we add, as you mentioned, the enzyme regulators. That's the smallest stuff inside the capsule, Jay. That's about the size of a grain of salt. That
Right.
grain of salt goes in there based on your chemistry, what your genetic enzyme deficiencies are causing inside the body. So then we
And
put
yep.
the grain of salt in there.
And it really doesn't matter. And it's purely speculatory until you get that biochemical report card back, because you're the only one that's testing for these, specific biomarkers and the optimal ranges of those biomarkers to determine if, which enzymes are presenting, if they are. Is it hormonal? Is it something inside of, the diet and lifestyle that needs to be addressed? It doesn't matter, because any of those things can be changed via your prescription, because it's individual. It's not off the shelf, repackaged Finasteride, here you go. It's per individual based on that report card. So the most important thing I can tell people that I talk to is stop, find out the cause, get the biochemical report card, take the blood test, then go from there, talk to the doctor. You do that, you're winning, you're ahead. Even if you just start it from getting worse, if you can't afford the topical at the moment, go on the Nettle's Essentials and you're going to be doing better. Just first, you got to stop before you do anything, right? You got to find out the cause. No two report cards come back the same. So no two capsules are the same. So people say, what's in the capsule? You say, well, we don't know yet, right?
You're right, Jay. Yeah, if you're serious about figuring out what causes your hair, you will get your blood work, and then you'll have someone with an endocrinology type of specialty that can evaluate the blood work and then be able to determine what sort of formula that you need inside your body. Most people are taking supplements. Today, 65% of people take a supplement, but not precisely based on their chemistry. So
Right.
today's precision science allows us to give them a precision supplement, but the GNCs in the world won't sell
Yep.
you that because they don't
Well,
have the precision based on the biochemistry. They don't have the labs installed yet.
Well, you're one of the few preventative, doctors that are out there versus the United States healthcare system, which is a symptomatic based approach. This hurts, I go in, or I don't. Here, take this. It's not preventing. Whereas when you go on the Stop and Regrow and you go through your report card, it's like you're preventing diabetes. You're going to prevent heart disease in the future, like because you're going to, hey, these numbers are out of line. If you continue, you're borderline diabetic. Hey, I eat broccoli all day. It doesn't matter. It's still sugar. So like, it's also a preventative thing for your future to have a more vital future and to really be stronger into your autumn years versus being diabetic or be cardiac, or like so many people we see, including my own family, that just didn't take preventative measures. So this program is not only something to help out your hair, cosmetic indication hair loss, it's also for preventing future disease and having a stronger core and system,
You're right, Jay. One of the first extra trainings, extracurricular training, fellowship type of training that I augmented to my medical school training was preventative anti-aging medicine that has turned into optimal aging.
Yep.
So, optimal aging. Everyone's going to age. You can age optimally if you take a supplement that, as you age, ages you optimally. And that's what we
Right.
can do today with our compounding pharmacies.
And you also do hormone, replacement therapy and everything. So it could be a variant of different causes, and it's all individualized, but it doesn't really matter what's causing it. I guess, again, it matters just to get the test and find out the cause, and then you can treat it. So it's just, I keep hammering that down because people just, they want a simplified answer, but there's nothing simple about this, really. It's just, you need to get the test to run it through your diagnostic system, which is exclusive, that no one else has, because your annual checkup with your doctor for your cholesterol and test is not going to do it. It's not good enough. And this test, honestly, even if you have to pay out of pocket, if you don't have insurance to pay for it, it's worth its weight in gold, because there's three aspects to the program, right? You have that capsule to repair the enzyme or whatever it's missing from the diet. Then you have that amazing water-based topical that's patented, stop and regrow, that's yours alone with your own, amazing ingredient that works wonders. It's very expensive, but it works. It's more expensive than gold, but it works wonders. And then there's that nutrition aspect that you get. So those three things is what, a lot of people too, like, don't understand that it's a combination of those three things. But first you have to find out what the cause is. And no two people are the same. So get the test. You say, oh, I can't afford it. Because I talk to people who do consultations. I say it runs between $180 to $240 a month. Oh, wow, it's a big number. Well, if you can't afford the stimulant to regrow, stop the cause.
Give up some of the alcohol. Give up some of the
Yeah,
chips. Give up some of that
yeah.
stuff that you waste your money on. Give up
All
some of the new shoes that people are buying. Give up the new polos. Give up some of the
yeah,
hats, and garments, and the jewelry.
the
Jay,
convenience
you
foods.
can't find $200.
So,
Chef Jay, you've got a nice head of hair. I've got a
well,
nice head of hair. What does your hair loss regrowth doctor's hair look like?
yeah.
What does your hair regrowth doctor's hair look like, Jay?
But the proof is in the pudding, and also you have to put the work in. You got to take it. I take it 1 day a week and do meal prep. I mean, if you don't put the work in, you're not going to get the results, because a lot of it's nutrition. Food is medicine, right? I mean, so important, but a lot of people have horrendous eating habits. All the convenience foods, the ordering out, the Uber Eats, all this stuff is like, it is obscene what's inside of that food. I know from working in commercial kitchens how much soy-based oil, and what if you're running high on estrogen as a male, like I was when I went in? And you got to be so careful of taking in anything soy, because it'll turn into estrogen, and then you have a bigger problem. You start gaining upper body fat. It's stress on your heart. It's like, it's all, it works together. It's a myriad of things working in motion.
Jay, that's why you got one of the most exceptional podcasts out there, Ingredients for a Better Life. You're educating the public on how nutrition or ingredients in the nutrients that you consume through your food and your diet turn into the molecules, the hormones inside your body. And you touched on how soybean oil in a lot of the fast food places can turn into the estrogen. And you allowed other people to hear that your estrogen was elevated. That happens in 20% of the males in the public. So a lot of people can use the supplement capsules, the supplements in the capsule to rebalance their internal chemistry, irrespective of the hair loss. Most people are walking around with chemical imbalances, Jay, and that's why
Yeah.
people are a little bit anxious. People are a little bit depressed. People are a little suicidal. People have
Well,
racing thoughts. People
yeah.
have all those things, Jay, because they've got chemical imbalances caused by genetic enzyme abnormalities that can be resolved after you get the blood work and you get a capsule that's precisely prescribed for your chemistry. And we've got the happiest people on earth on 6 continents. So if you want to be happy and healthy and optimally healthy, then contact us at Stop and Regrow.
The last thing I want to say to people too out there is, don't be afraid. A lot of people, like I was, they're afraid of what the doctor's going to find, especially, oh man, I don't want to, like, what if it comes back my prostate's inflamed and I got prostate problem, or like, some people are afraid to know, because you can't run, you can't hide from that blood test. You can't hide. There's no running, no hiding, no masking, no, hey, I'm going to eat real good the next 2 days. Can't do that. That A1C is a snapshot that you can't BS that. So don't be afraid. It's better to know, and you're going to be more in the hurt locker if you don't know.
You're right, Jay. You're right. You don't put them in the hurt locker. They need to get the information,
Yeah.
education. You make a better decision with better information. So get better knowledge, better information, make a better decision.
All right, Doc. Thanks for your time. We'll catch up next week. Have a blessed week, and I wish you all the best. And thanks for doing the work you're doing. And I mean, thanks for everything you did for me. Quite frankly, love you. Thank you so much.
Good to see you, Jay. Thank you.
You too. God bless.
Yeah.